Have you ever wondered why it's so hard to be a good person? Why most of the time it feels easier or even more useful to let go of your values just to get what you want, whether it's in relationships, work, or money? I know people who really tried to do the right thing, but because of that, others didn't understand them. Some walked away, and some even thought they were strange. And yes, sometimes they missed out on things that could have helped them. Imagine this. One day at work, you say no to something dishonest, or maybe something smaller, like you just don't want to gossip about a coworker you actually like. And suddenly, the same people who used to laugh with you during breaks start acting distant. They look at you differently, like you don't belong anymore. It's like you've become the weird one. So you start to wonder, maybe it would be easier to let go of your values just to keep everyone happy. Here's a real story. A girl shared on Reddit that her friend invited her to a bachelorette party in California and later to a wedding in Paris. The whole trip would cost at least $5,000. That's already a lot. But there's more. The girl had just lost her job. She had a ton of debt and couldn't even pay rent, so she moved back in with her mom. The bride knew all of this. Still, when the girl explained honestly that she couldn't afford the trip, her friend told her their friendship was over and stopped talking to her. So here's the big question. Would it have been better to lie? Maybe say she had health problems or something like that, just to keep the friendship. But when we make choices like that, are we still being true to ourselves, to what we believe in? It feels like doing the right thing, being honest, being fair, often makes us feel alone or misunderstood. Why does it happen? Let's try to figure it out together. Thomas Aquinas, a famous thinker from the Middle Ages, said that being a good person means choosing what's right and saying no to what's wrong. It means listening to your own conscience, not just to what other people say. Being honest, fair, brave, helping others even when it's hard or doesn't help you. But here's the question. If most people want to be good, why does doing good sometimes push others away? Imagine someone who always tells the truth. Sounds like a good thing, right? And just to be clear, I don't mean those moments when the truth could really hurt someone, or when it might sound too harsh or too personal. I'm not talking about telling someone straight to their face that you think they look awful or that they're not capable of anything. What I mean here is something else. So he starts to notice that other people often lie a little, joke or exaggerate to get what they want or to make others like them. He decides not to do that, and then what happens? His coworkers start avoiding him. They say things like, "He's too serious," or "He's kind of boring." Some even start to feel uncomfortable around him, like his honesty is showing them something they don't want to see. There was another story on Reddit. Someone said they don't get a promotion just because they spoke honestly about problems in their company. Sound familiar, right? I think a lot of us have been through something like that. I've had this happen to me more times than I'd like to admit. When you are too honest in a world that plays by different rules, you start to feel like you don't belong. People look at you like you just don't know how to live. Thomas Aquinas said that a good person lives by reason and by their conscience, not by what the crowd wants. But the crowd wants comfort. The crowd wants quick rewards. That's why it often pushes away anyone who doesn't follow the same path. And just to explain, when Aquinas talks about the crowd, he doesn't mean a group of people standing together. He means people who always follow their small desires and chase what feels good right now. People who live mostly for material things and act on emotions. And sadly, most people live like that. So, why does this happen? Why does it feel like good people are always in the minority? Thomas Aquinas believed that after the fall of man, people became weaker on the inside. Their emotions, wants, and selfishness start to control them. But you don't need to be religious to understand this idea. The truth is, most of us want comfort, attention, or something that benefits us. But being a good person means something else. It's about sacrifice, hard work, and always thinking about your actions. And that's not always easy or fun. Believe me, I get it. I also find it hard sometimes. There's always a strong temptation to do what's easier, especially when you see that most people care more about money, success, or fame. A lot of people today say that relationships feel like business deals, like transaction based on getting something, not real care or connection. This way of thinking leads to the idea that other people are here to meet my needs. But those people, they are real too. They have feelings and needs of their own. And here's something else. Many people think that honesty and fairness aren't really strengths. They see them as a problem. Why? Because when someone lives with truth and values, it makes others remember their own weak spots, the things they try to hide. When you try to do the right thing, it's like you become a mirror for the people around you. You don't even have to say anything. Just by how you act, you show them, look, there's another way. You can be more honest. But that mirror isn't always nice to look at. It can make people stop and think, wait, what about me? I don't think I could do that. And that thought makes them feel uncomfortable or even annoyed. Here's the strange part. You're not telling anyone what to do. You're not judging anyone. You're just living your own way. But still, some people feel like you're quietly judging them, like you think you are better than them. Even when you are not, they might say, oh, he probably thinks he's so perfect. And even if you never give advice or tell them what to do, they might still pull away from you. Just being around you makes them feel awkward because you remind them that there is another way to live. And that's not always easy to face. Has this ever happened to you? Share your story in the comments. It's happened to me too, and honestly, it's a sad feeling. But here's the most important thing. Don't let that kind of reaction stop you from being honest. Yes, it's hard, but that's what real strength is. Staying true to yourself even when others don't get it. You know, Thomas Aquinas was actually an optimist. He didn't believe that a good person has to be alone or be cut off from others. In fact, he believed the opposite. When someone lives with honesty and strong values, they help others grow. They create a space around them that feels fair and peaceful. He also said that people like this attract others, not by trying, but just by being honest and strong inside. They become a role model. Aquinas wrote that one person's good actions can inspire others and give them strength. So even if a good person sometimes feels like they don't fit in, they still play an important role. They help make the world more honest, more fair, and more real. And sometimes living with honesty helps you find the right people, those who understand and share your values. These people might be rare, but those relationships are usually deeper and more meaningful. It could be coworkers who are also tired of lies and drama, or friends who don't care about how well you fit in, but who value your honesty and loyalty. So if this message feels true for you, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And if you want more people like this in the world, share this video with your friends. Together, we really can make the world a kinder place. Thank you for watching.